always important. So for example, my table mate said she knows Karen Dansby. Well, Karen Dansby, when I was in the 12th grade, changed my life because there was a friend who was being sexually harassed or assaulted, really, by the gym coach, by the PE teacher, and she kept telling me about it. And finally I said, you know, if you don't tell someone, I'm gonna have to. And I went to the French teacher and I went to the principal. We told her family was infuriated with me. They, you know, she was the homecoming queen, I was the attendant, all that kind of stuff. They didn't want anyone to know this secret. Well, I called Karen Dansby and she gave me the confidence and comfort to know that for me, in my insides, I had done the right thing. And she's a family friend. I mean, I've known her because she's from Eastern Kentucky since I was a kid, but we didn't have a particularly strong mentorship relationship or a chosen family relationship, but I knew that she was a strong, safe woman I could call, and she was the only person in that town who was on my side when I did that in 1986. Wow. So we never know the difference we make.
All right, we have a question right here.
Yes.
Hi, thanks for being here.
What's your name?
My name's Annie.
Hi, Annie.
Nice to meet you. So my question is I'm working on putting together a workshop for women in any kind of work, really, and kind of working off the basis of the shine theory about how we validate other women in those kind of situations, especially when we're one of two or the only woman at the table. So if you could just share any suggestions you have about ways that you've found to validate other women and bring them up with you instead of cutting them down, which we so often find, you know, in business, is that we're threatened by other strong women. How do you bring other women up with you?
Yes. So the question is about how we validate each other. And for me, that does start with validating myself and having other women with whom I can talk about my rivalries. So I've got this core group of women, and we have permission to like leave each other voicemails and swear on them if we need to. Even if Nikki picks up, I'm like, hang up, I just want to rant. You know, so first of all, that I have that space, and I will look at myself in the mirror and say wonderful things to myself, and I'll give you a little hint. That's how I'm going to end my TED Talk. So if I can do that for myself, I'm better able to do that for other women. And I have what I call the doorknob prayer. God, what can I add? As I'm opening that door, I say, God, what can I add? And, you know, looking at how I internalize the patriarchy. And so if you're asking for a specific system, it really, I think, is about those strong female-to-female alliances. And this is a really fun thing to do. It changes brain chemistry. There's a really important study that was recently published at Massachusetts General Hospital from their neuroimaging center. And they show that written and spoken, particularly written, gratitude and affirmation fire this watershed place in the brain that has all of these cascading benefits. It's literally a panacea. And therefore, you would say back to me in the affirmative, if I say, I'm gorgeous and the world is a better place because I'm in it, you say, yes, you are. So let's try that. I have a right to be here and I'm doing a good job.
Yes, you do.
See, it feels really good. Thank you for the question.
Ashley, we got one right over here.
Hi, Ashley. I'm Pat from Tennessee.
Hi.
I wanted to ask you to say some words to women about how important it is to be a humanitarian as you are. Because I think sometimes in our busy work life, we forget that there are things that we need to give back and help other groups.
Yes, so the question is about humanitarianism, and I noticed that giving back is a part of your Athena core principles, and I cannot give that which I do not have. I'm a human. I really have to start with myself. And one of my most dearly held principles is self-care is not selfish, it is self-esteem. And I think that there's a certain hubris in trying to transmit something I don't necessarily have. Now, there is definitely a fake it till you make it. There's definitely a, hey, get out of myself by being of service to another human being. And then there's also that getting over here into your business when my own house is not in order. So there are a couple of other little slogans around that I like uncover, discover, discard. I have to have my own journey in order to be genuinely helpful to another human being. And also humanitarianism isn't, you know, spatially and temporally defined in a massive global way. It really starts in my own home and in my community. So my beloved housekeeper When Dario and I started with her many, many years ago, she had said to her 3 girls, I don't know I can guarantee you'll go to the school of your choosing, but you will go to college. And she, based on us being able to circulate money in our local economy, has sent 3 first-generation students to college, 3 sport athletes, 2 of whom are now in graduate school. That's humanitarianism. And we pay a living wage with insurance into her 401k, totally did the deal. She brought the kids to the house. She had elder care. That is something I'm so proud of. And I didn't know any of that. We just did it because we intuitively knew it was the right thing to do.
All right, Ashley, I think we have one last question.
Hi, Ashley. How are you?
I'm well, thank you.
I'm Sharina. I'm
Hi.
from Michigan.
Sharina?
Yes. I have a question. You have a busy life. You have a lot on your plate. And I know you have good days and bad days. What is your biggest motivation on your bad days to help you keep going forward?
You, my love.
Thank you.
Yeah, it really is. And also I think the little girl that's inside of me. So my parents didn't do a very good job, and that's okay today. And I also think it's abusive to say that to someone who hasn't had the opportunity to heal in the way that I have. And that doesn't necessarily mean, the money to heal and all that kind of stuff. I just had people carry a message to me and they said, there's help for a kid like you too, because I was the lost child and I was successful and I looked good and all that kind of stuff. But what was said to me in 2006 when my sister got professional help was, you come from the same woundedness, it just looks different. And so that child in me who had lived alone for 2 years, literally, in Williamson County in the 10th grade in Tennessee by myself. And then I moved myself to Kentucky, and my dad went out and drank and drugged for the year. And today, because of my own recovery, I have a good relationship with both of my parents. And I don't look at them as having been bad and wrong. They were sick and suffering, and they did the best they could with what they had at the time. And as we say all the time around the table, it wasn't much and it wasn't very good. But today, it is my responsibility to care for that precious, sweet thing that's inside of me. So I get out of bed for her, because I'm still reparenting her, and then she and I show up for you. And, this is great. I'm having a wonderful time, and this will really fill me. It has been great to get out of the classroom. And I will, I'm talking to my dean of faculty this afternoon with my advisor on the phone. I have to switch one class to an audit. I have to drop one. I have to switch to this rock star professor, her class. I have to do a pass-fail. I mean, I'm completely overwhelmed. I'm trying to do it like I did it before, right? Because I went to Harvard, I had a 4.0, and I did it all. But I didn't work. I opted out. I was on hiatus. Here, I'm trying to work and get the TED Talk, and I've got this unbelievably hot boyfriend. I'm commuting, and I can't do it, I got sick, I'm up at 5 in the morning worrying, I'm not prepared for my classes this week, and that's really okay. So there are a couple things. One is I gotta let go of the need for it to look like it did before. I have to do the set-aside prayer. Please help me set aside everything I think I know about this and be open to a completely new experience of you and connect her with the service, and that self-care isn't selfish, it is self-esteem. So that's my philosophy in a nugget, and now I get to meet some of you, and then I get to go home, and my mother is making me pork chops.